We tried.
You and David were on it. It was me who was super early.
Oh, I thought it was me and you that were on it, and David was.
You and David was.
We'll
right
see
together.
when the recording comes out.
Right.
Who knows?
That's always, I never assume I match or mismatch anybody until
the episode.
Right.
Yep.
Everything's a little bit different on our end.
Yep.
Just a little bit. But hola y bienvenidos a The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, I say something gay, and I am just drinking water because I'm going out after this, and I would like to be hydrated for that experience.
Good.
Smart.
And oli, I am Lana, your resident diva. I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink that tea because you know I loves me some tea. Purr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I too am. Oh, not that. That is contact solution. I too am drinking.
Today I'm drinking contact solution.
Contact solution. But no, I'm drinking water. Because hydration is important. But if I was drinking anything else, I would probably going to just use it as my holder. I'm going to use it as my cup mug. You see it. You see it. You love it. You like it. You want it.
This lighting is everything.
Oh, that is everything. That's so good.
Thank you.
And you can get this cup, and all of your other official cup merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. And we do ship internationally, so there are no excuses. And I'm looking at you, Mexico. I'm looking at you. Period. Get your cup mug.
Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I'm wearing one of our favorites from this year, a drag queen. Some of you all might know her. If you don't know her, please look her up. But it is from España, Miss Clover Beach.
Clover
Awesome Clover. She's the best. But yes. I am also drinking the same brand of water that Lana is.
We shop at the same store.
We do.
I have a Brita filter, not to be confused with the drag queen. So I just, I use that.
Yeah.
I get very dehydrated, so I carry a 40-ounce water bottle with me everywhere I go. We're not here to talk about water. We're here to talk about Mas Draga.
Yes.
Episode 3, Mas Draga 6. I'm still loving it.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving me everything I need in a drag program.
It is. It's still incredible. Like, it's mind blowing how good it is.
Yeah, it gives me everything I want, and then some things I never thought I wanted, and then it gives me things I didn't want. So it's like I'm running the full gambit with Mas Draga. So I'm here for it.
Well, we were complaining last time, y'all, about the lack of intro in the cold open. This time, intro.
Come to find out from our comments that this is normal. They will eventually give us a intro about the third or fourth episode, and sure, because last week somebody in our comments said they're usually get one about the third episode, and sure enough, we got one in the third episode. So I was like, period. And a lot of people were speculating that maybe it was because they were bringing back a queen and they didn't want to make the intro, and they were bringing somebody back, but I guess not. We just got our intro, and the show is going on as planned.
It was so much to take in too. Like, I was not expecting like so many images just flying at me, and I wanted to soak it all in, but it was going so fast. I was like, what are their names? There's their out of drag name. A few of them had this, like Kelly, Braulio, Ariel. They all had the same names in and out of drag, but I was like, wow, this is really cool. I really liked it. It was going fast.
It was definitely fast, but it was good.
Yeah. So we come in to the Knicks workroom. And we very, very quickly get our surprise challenge. I still just love saying surprise challenge. I get great joy in that. But our surprise challenge is La Draga Enlodada. We're mud wrestling.
Period.
We are mud wrestling for an immunity lipstick.
Love it.
This is the content I want to see. I loved it. Oh, it was so good. Just drag queens in mud. I love it.
You know what I love more than seeing the drag queens in the mud? The drag queen. Oh, that too.
I thought that's where you were gonna go with that.
That's not where I was gonna go, but hey, I love subscribers as well more than I love drag
David gives us our reminder to not forget about saying subscribe.
But yeah,
please
I love.
Subscribe. We love you.
I love subscribers more than I love drag queens in mud. So hit the subscribe button. Hit it. We're doing this for you. We love you. So hit it. Okay. And that's my Beyonce for today. But what I was going to say, what I love more than drag queens in mud, is drag queens destroying the props in the mud. Because that poor lipstick didn't stand a chance in that mud with those queens just gripping and grabbing and da-da-da. That thing was in like 3 different pieces the first round.
Literally round 1 happens and it's ripped immediately. And so Alexis is like, well, I guess we have to do a tiebreaker.
Because like I have a piece and I have a piece.
And then they proceed to do a tiebreaker every round. I was like, okay, sure, cool, okay, work. But it comes down to Ariel, Alexis, and I don't remember the third person.
It was Ariel, Alexis, and Purga.
Oh, what?
All team David. All team David. So I was so excited. I'm like, ooh, I just got 3 people immune. I'm gonna be doing so well in the draft.
No. But they were like, what we're going to do now is the winner from each leg now comes and fight it out for this baby lipstick.
This actual real life
lipstick. And we're going to plop it into the mud and you go find it. And baby, I love it.
I have to say as well, while we're here, I'm loving Alexis 3XL.
Yes.
I'm loving her. Oh, I can't wait to go back and watch her season. I think I'm gonna really enjoy her on there too. So I'm very, very excited for all of that. But speaking of Alexis, she hides the damn lipstick in her mouth.
Baby, when I was like, first of all, ew, because that lipstick was covered in mud and you had to dig up with more mud and you just threw mud in your mouth, ew. But second of all, that is the smartest thing she could have did. She found it and was like, and then act like she's still looking. Yep. I mean, I probably
don't know where it is.
Me personally, I probably would have put it under my boob because
sure. Well, only one of them had breasts, and she did not do well in the competition. So
Alexis is a meaty girl. Yes. Her boob probably could sustain that if she was just stuck it under there and just held it down while she was acting like she was looking some more. I wasn't putting that mud in my mouth, but that's just me. But that was smart.
All the people who crawled through that in the first 3 rounds.
And all that, gross. But she did it. She committed. She wanted that immunity, and I'm here for it. Congratulations to Miss Alexis Mvgler.
And she didn't even need it. She didn't even
because she was so good. Actually, I loved her. Look, we'll talk about it. But
yeah, we'll talk about it. So we also find out that the the runway challenge for the week is La Mas Picada, which I loved. This is reference to papel picado, which is a traditional Mexican art technique of it's all of those very intricately made paper banners that you'll see a lot. I see them all the time living in Arizona. So it's like anywhere I go where the population is very predominantly Hispanic, I see them and I love them. And I think I remember making them in elementary school.
We did something like that, but it was usually around Christmas time, and we would make snowflakes.
It was
the snowflakes. You fold the paper, you cut it up, and when they said, I was like, oh, because like when they said it, I didn't know what it meant. And I was like, but they kept saying packed paper on the peak paper on the subtitle was peak paper, and I was like, what is peak paper? But then when the runway started, I was like, oh, it is that, and I get it now. It makes sense to me, and I was like, we used to do that with snowflakes, and that was our thing. We used to throw snowflakes all over the road. I love those. That's my favorite. I do that now when I'm just bored and I have paper in front of me with some scissors. I just cut up and make little snowflakes. But yeah.
I will say after they named the theme, we got a montage of 3 girls like in a row that were all like, oh, I'm so excited about this look. My look's so good. Oh, this is the one I've been waiting for. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be an amazing runway theme. And then they did 3 more in a row of people like, oh, it didn't turn out how I wanted it to be. Oh,
there
I was
are
still
really
working on it
issues with people
minute.
not getting their garments.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And I was like, oh, maybe it's not going to be as good.
Wow.
It was a show. I'll tell you that. I can't wait to talk about it because
I'm very
at least one of those people that was worried about how their look would turn out killed it. So
right, that part.
And one of them who said they were very excited about it killed it. So
they sure did.
We'll go.
But before we talk about our beautiful, beautiful runway, we do have some drama to talk about. Ooh, drama.
This is the part of the show. This is the part of the show I don't like. It's so long in the workroom talking about nonsense. And maybe it's me being older and above drama in my real life that I'm like, I don't particularly care to watch it even on TV because it's like, it was so messy, but we can talk about it.
This segment I would like to call 2 weeks in a row, Ariel explains it all, where she just rips open the Band-Aid.
And why don't you explain Ariel explaining it all, David?
Yeah, so, and it's one thing for her to like say the drama, but she has such a big buildup. Wait, let me get the fanfare, everybody. I'm going to have to say this because nobody else wants to say it.
Right.
So I'm going to have to bring this. And it's like, okay, just say it, girl. Or you could have just gone to her one-on-one.
One-on-one and talk to her personally. But okay.
Yes. No, but that's not possible on here.
Apparently not.
Cast, no.
She calls out Kelly and she says, you're talking too much. We all have an issue with it. Nobody wants to tell you. But yeah, you don't shut up. And you really need to stop talking over people.
Cut to confessionals. Yeah, Kelly do talk too much. I've been saying it to like 3 people. I've been saying she does. She just doesn't. And I'm like, then why ain't none of y'all go tell her? But okay, back to you, David.
But then here comes my favorite part right away, where Juana speaks up and she's like, well, actually, I think you talk too much, Ariel. And I was like, okay, get her, sick her. It's so funny how like divided this cast has become and how much more I like one side than the other. Yeah. So Kelly naturally gets pretty defensive. She starts clapping back. And she thinks that it might have something to do with her being trans. Immediately, everybody's no.
Oh my God, no, absolutely not. No, we love and support trans women.
Nothing to do with that.
But you talk too much.
Yeah, it's complicated. Do I believe that it has something to do with her being trans?
I don't think so.
Maybe not, but you have to realize the optics.
Mm-hmm.
You're calling out this girl who's the only trans person, and I guess we found out the first person to be on the show
I did not
openly
realize.
trans.
I didn't realize she was the first trans woman to compete.
Yeah, I didn't either. So, like, it does not look good. You have to think about that sort of thing. You have to have some tact. And I think a lot of these girls, they're very young, they have zero tact. So,
And I think that when it comes to like Kelly and the life that she's led and the rejection that she's probably already felt in her life by people because she is a trans woman, that of course her defenses are always up when somebody is calling her out on things. And like it was like a mob mentality. Like all of these people were like, yeah, you talk too much, I don't like it, da da da. She felt like she was being attacked in that moment.
she
And
felt very attacked.
she felt very attacked. And even if it's not because she's trans, that's where her mind always goes. That just because the life she's led, that's like when I say on other shows or this show, when I say it's not, I don't want to talk about race, and I don't want to say black folks be about race, but when that's your whole life, you always feel like that's the fence you have to go. Like, are you talking about me because I'm black? You don't like me because of this, and it's just her defense mechanism. And that's, I think it's so natural because she's always fighting for trans women. She's always fighting for her trans rights as a woman. And so now it's like when anybody comes to her, that's the first the first line of defense for her. Is it because I'm trans? And then people are like, no. It's not because you're trans. It's because of this. And it's hard to pivot from, but I kind of think it's because I'm trans. Because it's always in the back of your mind. It's probably because of this thing that I am. It's probably this, and you don't want to just say it. So I don't think they were coming at her because she was trans. I think it was genuinely, they just felt she was overpowering, taking over. The judges love her. There is a showing their insecurities because they don't know how to compete with her. And baby, I'm sorry, if you can't compete where you can't compare, and she is killing and she is doing the doggone thing, that's not her fault that she is good. You just have to step up your game, Ariel.
Right.
Period.
Well, we find out the origin of this. I guess it started with the yacht mini challenge from last week. And I guess she was kind of stepping over people's lines and they had to, and it's fair. What they are saying is fair. She obviously was going a little bit too far. But then she brings up the mic drop question. Why couldn't you tell me this off camera?
Exactly.
And then I get really annoyed because Purga decides to pipe up. And Purga, even though her shorties are the ones coming for Kelly, she starts to speak up in defense of Kelly. Which,
and
great,
why
that
was
seems
that?
great.
Look, and I'm like,
And why?
yay, Purga, great, you stepping up for Kelly, but
why? Why did she
David? Why did she step up, David?
Well, Kelly knows how to use a sewing machine. She knows how to make things. So you never know if you might need Kelly as a friend. So I'm going to buddy up with her and pretend like I'm on her side. Ugh. Come on, Purga. You're better than that, I would hope.
Absolutely.
I don't think so.
I don't think so at this point. Because if that is your game plan, you don't have to say that in the conversation. Some things don't even need to be said. Don't need to be spoken out loud. You don't even need to tell your whole game plan out loud at all. You keep that in your mind and be like, yeah, I'm gonna need a sewing machine because I can't sew. I'm gonna need her help. But so I'm gonna stay close. But actually try to build a real relationship. Actually try to be her friend. How about that? Like if you really want to be her, like that just oozed fakeness to me, and it was so I didn't like her. I didn't like that moment at all.
No. And then we get, this part's pretty sad. Then we get Kelly. She finally gets to the point where she feels like she has to apologize, and she makes it clear, like, I do not want to be the first trans person on the show and the villain. So that's why she felt the need to apologize, because she knows that she's representing something bigger than just herself. And then it's sad that she felt she had to do that because of her being trans. And then Kyliezz pipes up once again. It has nothing to do with that. It's not about. Okay, that's not what she's saying. She's not saying that anymore. She's saying she knows who she's representing, and she doesn't want to be the trans villain, because people will vilify her. People are looking for excuses. So it's a bit exhausting at this point.
I am so triggered by this whole situation all over again. I wasn't. I am so triggered by this because I feel like she has to navigate her way through a game or a competition differently than everybody else in the room, and that feels so triggering for every POC in every other game that we watch and every other reality show that we watch on TV, that you have to navigate your way in the game differently than everybody else because of who you are. That's just as simple as that. Because you are who you are, you can't play the game like everybody else, because you have the responsibility of a whole community on your shoulders, and you feel the weight and the pressure of the whole community on your shoulders, and you don't want to look like the villain. I don't want to look like the angry Black woman. I don't want to look like the aggressive Black man. I don't want to look like the sassy Latina. I don't want to look like the nerdy smart Asian. I don't want to, all of those things. We just can't go in and play the game like everybody else, because we got the weight of the community on our shoulders. And that just, that triggered me so much. And you just talking about it, it was like, it bubbled up inside. Oh my God. My heart goes out to Kelly because I understand. I understand, and I hate that you have to do it. And even like you said, she said it wasn't even about the trans thing. She didn't think they would come to her for that when she apologized. She apologized because she didn't want to be the villain of the season, because she wanted trans representation to look better than the villain. And she ain't even a villain.
No, not even close.
Far from a villain. But she felt that way. And that is so sad. It's so triggering. Oh, I know we're trying to get through this, but man, Kelly, I'm about to send her some PayPal. I'm about to send her a PayPal. I ain't got the money, but I'm going to PayPal Kelly in the next month. I promise you that, because that just triggered my whole soul. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we got for that conversation. I don't know. Did you have any other thoughts, Logan?
No, because quite literally every talking point I had was brought up by one of the two of you. So literally I was going to continue the conversation, and then one of you said that, I was like, okay, that's fine. And I don't care. I don't care because it was talked about, but ditto. That's really all I have to say about it. It's just
I'm so sorry.
Retweet. Oh my God, same. Hashtag same. That's really all I have to say about it.
I love you. I love you so much.
I have something you can talk about, Logan. So we get some tea from Dimittra. She witnessed an incident. She at one point saw Miss Alexis Mvgler and Miss Juana grinding up on each other, dry humping on each other. What do you have to say about this, Logan?
What I have to say is, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you bringing this up because I'm a big boy?
No.
Is that why?
No, it has nothing to do with you being a big boy.
I don't believe that, but okay.
That's Logan's first line. That's Logan's first line of defense.
Literally.
It all comes back.
But like, also, Juana, girl, you're married. But also, like, I can't say a goddamn thing.
We don't know their rules.
Right.
No, we sure do not.
Mhm.
We sure do not. I thought this was dumb and stupid, and I loved
It
it.
was.
I
It was kinda
loved
cute.
it. I was like, ooh, y'all better. Ooh, y'all better. Yes, I loved it.
And we get a little smooch on camera between
Barely.
the
Barely.
And Juana was like, you've kissed me better off camera. What the hell? Loving Juana. Truly, like, she is quickly becoming one of my favorite people. And Alexis as well. They're both slowly, like, rising up for me as far as personality is concerned. But
for sure.
And then Lana.
Yeah.
I'll segue the conversation to you, I guess, since that's maybe what we're doing today. But we get everybody starts talking about their partners and how much they miss their partners, and
you shifted that part to me. Oh God!
I mean,
you were the
which of
only
us
other
had
person that
partners?
hadn't talked about any of it. We're literally all single, so it's not like someone.
No, I mean it's like this is like the equivalent of a showman. So the people are just happily in love, and honestly, I could care less. Be you.
Me too, but I wanted to shift the
but
conversation to you because
Okay,
that was
here's
how it
my
was
thought.
happening.
Here's my thoughts. Love. I'm happy that you're in love, but my favorite part of it all was Alexis.
Sorry.
Wait. I did not see it. That's how long.
Sorry. I had to add this in there because for our subtitles, we kept seeing gay shock as the whole Alexis and Juana thing.
Truly, the first episode, whenever it was like gay excitement, gay shock, gay panic, my phone background, quite literally, is you're not gonna be able to see it well. It's gay panic.
Oh, nice.
That is my phone background. Is gay panic. So I felt very like, yes, that feels like me.
That's funny. But yeah, my favorite part of the whole montage of everybody talking about how they love their partners and how they miss them so much was Miss Alexis Mvgler was like, I'm just kidding. No, stop. And she was like, you just all gonna be break up with these people in 6 months and then regret everything you said about them on this show. So no, I'm not here for that.
Except for the several people in 11-year relationships.
Who knows? But
it was Ariel and someone else. I can't remember who the other person was.
All I know is Alexis was not here for that, and I
think it was Juana.
Dimittra, Aries, and Cattriona all talked about their partners and sent messages to their partners, which I thought was sweet and cool that they allowed that.
Yeah.
Love
it.
Love it. Fine.
And we also got Kelly. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's where I was headed, so go for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kelly was talking about how hard it is for her dating. And it's not specifically because people don't want to date her because she's trans. It's people don't want other people to know that they're dating a trans person. So it's more like that feels worse to me. Like
my heart broke
it's not
again.
that I don't want to date you. It's that I'm ashamed to let other people know that I'm dating you.
I don't want to date. I don't want to. She said they don't treat her like she's a woman.
Yeah.
They treat her like she's a man dressed as a woman. And I was like,
and from conversations I've had and like experiences that I've had with trans individuals personally, I hear that is a very common thing, especially among trans women, which is absolutely horrible. They are women just like everyone else, so treat them as such. Period.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. Things and activities should be fetishes. People should not be fetishes.
Exactly.
Should not be fetishes.
Exactly. Don't try to hide them under the throw them back in the closet you just came out of. Don't try to do that to them, because when you feel like you out and proud, but you don't want to. You want to hide the person because they're trans, and if you straight doing that, you you a nasty kind of person.
My heart just broke again for Kelly because I was just like, with all of the drama that happened earlier, and then now we have this too. Like it just, I felt so bad. So bad.
I will say this real quickly,
Mhm.
and we can get into the runway because it segues pretty much into this runway.
I need a few moments, so actually stalling is great. Thank you.
Okay. This is going to segue into the runway. With all of these girlies up there fighting and you know, causing drama and stirring up, I feel personally that some of them should have took more time doing their makeup rather than talking and fighting with everybody, because when they got on that runway, their makeup looked a little crunchified because they were doing too much talking and not enough painting. So how about we ease up on the drama and do what you came to do in the workroom, which is paint your face. How about that? How about that?
Agreed.
Because maybe some of them was a little crunchy in the face because they ain't take the time to do their makeup because they wanted to be involved in the drama.
Shorties, show me your hands. Put your hands out in front of me. You're not you all are not shorties.
Absolutely not.
You are the conceptuals.
I'm about to say I wear pants all the time.
I wear shorts all the time, so that's difficult.
I don't wear pants all the time. Yeah, those shorties. Bam. Okay, are we ready?
We are ready. We're ready.
We're ready.
I forgot about one specific thing that I had to do really quickly.
Okay,
but now we have it. La Mas Picada. And I love that the banner that the all of the La Mas themes are on is quite literally papel picado.
Oh yeah, good point.
So
and they got the CBS logo in there.
Stop it.
Stop that. Horrible. I want to talk also about our guest judge, Ari Gameplays, who I knew who she was. And I was like, oh, how fabulous. I love that. I follow her on Instagram. I don't watch any of her gaming because I think the majority of her content is in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish fluent enough to watch. But I do follow her on Instagram, and she was lovely. Absolutely lovely. And made a decision, which I appreciate.
Right.
I don't know if I appreciate her decision specifically. However, it makes sense given the whole. We'll talk about it. But La Mas Picada, we are actually going in order of how they presented themselves.
Not me changing my notes to be in order.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It's because I had to pull the looks this week because the La Mas Instagram did not post them. So I had to pull them myself. So I'm sorry.
No, it's just ironic because the first two times I had them in order of performance. Yep. This time I put them in order.
I'm so sorry. It also makes my job a little bit more difficult because I have to go around and be like, okay, where are they? Okay, what was their score again? So that's going to be fun. But first up, we have Braulio.
These are great pictures.
Thank you. I'm aware.
She was the first one we were going to talk about either way.
I know. She was honestly the first person to talk about anyway. So Braulio scored a 12 on this.
Which I don't agree with. I don't agree with the 12. Me personally, but.
Let's hear your thoughts, Lana. What do you think?
I like this look. Look, this is Braulio and what Braulio does. And I do like, she didn't do the typical small cuts. She gave us the paper cutout and the gray. I thought it was fine. I don't think it was the best, but I don't think it was the worst. But this is still who Braulio is. Braulio is always going to be someone that goes against the grain a little bit, and it's always going to give us something different and exciting to me. I loved it. And then I agree, I would have loved to see more blood when she cut the tongue or whatever, and it would have been more gruesome, more gross, but other than that, I just the contact with her eyes and that mask covering that, and it gives us a good view of her eye. It was so mesmerizing in a hauntingly creepy way. I kind of loved it. I kind of I liked it. I won't say I loved it. I liked it.
Mhm. Yeah, I really liked this. It kind of gave me like a twisted priest.
Mhm.
I loved what she did with the mouth. I loved the big scissor fingers that she had going on. What I really liked though, and what I did not expect, was her delivery of this. It was the most energy she's had by far on the stage. Like she was moving around so quickly. I did not think she had it in her. So yeah, I thought this was success. Like there were at least 5 people I would have had in the bottom below her. Um,
Mm.
and then the critiques, like I get it. Like, yeah, you want glitter, you want it to pop more. Okay, she didn't
But
have a
that's not
chance.
her.
And she
But
didn't have
that's
a
not
chance to change
her.
anyways.
That's
Like,
not her. She is
I
not a
agree.
glittery pop girl. Stop trying to make her into something she's not. And I'm like, casted her on this show for a reason, for who she
Mhm.
was as a drag artist, for her genre of drag. Don't try to come out and say, now we want you to be pops of color and glitters. And that is never going to be her.
No.
And I don't, that's what I don't like. I don't like them trying to change people for who they are. It's like, that's not going to be her. Why would you make a theme and say, we want you to give us glitz and glamour and glitter when she is not ever going to be glitz and glamour and glitter? That's not her. I'm sorry, I talk too much.
No, you're fine. That actually kind of leads into what my big critique was, because I actually understood what Lital was saying to an extent. And I think it's because I think I might subscribe to horror drag a little bit more than both of you. I'm not entirely sure. But I've seen a lot of looks along the lines of what Braulio has been presenting, and there's just an increased drag element to it. Like there's just that little thing, just like how we talk about with traditionally pretty drag queens and just having that little extra something that just takes them over the top. For me, this look didn't have that little extra something. I think it's a good look. Braulio would not have been in my bottom 2. They would have been in my bottom 3, however. And the big reason why is because for the assignment of La Mas Picada, for me, this doesn't give that as much as a lot of other people did. And it's namely because you can't notice it in the actual black garment. It's there and it's made in that style, but you can't tell unless you look very, very close at it. And I wish there was some sort of backing color to
Mm.
sort of accent that, or something along those lines. That was my big ultimate reason why I would have put Braulio in my bottom 3. Just because it felt a little flat, and I just wanted that little bit of something extra, just to take it over the top. This was good, but on this season, unfortunately, I just need amped up just that little bit more for me personally. So, scores.
I like this a lot. I gave it an 88.
I like this as well. I gave it an 83.
I'm giving Braulio a 65, but it is a very respectable 65 because I respect their drag art. So that's where I'm at. And not nearly as a high score for Purga, who also scored 12 for this runway.
I didn't like this at all either. Well, not either, because I like Braulio. I didn't like this at all. Right. And she was who I was talking about. Instead of talking so much in the workroom, we should have been working on our makeup, because this looks a mess.
Bad.
Her face is not good. It's no contour, no cheeks at all, like no contour at all. It looked like it's just, and this dress is, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think I liked it more than you all.
Yes.
Obviously.
So what I do like is the silhouette. I thought she had a nice like shape to her, especially with it like kind of shooting out at the bottom of the gown. And I thought her stage presence was very good, which has never been an issue for her. She really knows how to deliver a look on the runway. What I didn't like is maybe the color of the actual garment, that kind of like really muted forest green, like GI Joe green almost. And it also didn't really give me paper. It looked more like plastic to me.
Looked like plants.
Yes, it looked like it looked like it almost could have been made out of some sort of like palm frond type of thing. I don't know. I didn't hate it as much as everybody else. Once Latal really pointed out the makeup, I was like, yeah, the makeup isn't great at all. But I thought it was fine. I thought there were things I liked about it for sure.
I like Peaches' wounded fucking deer more than I like this. This is not good. Now tell me, why are we gonna do a picada dress and then cover all of the detail of the picada dress in random fake plastic plants?
Yeah.
This is bad.
If you would have took the plants off and just had the paper cuts, then yeah, it would have been fine.
This is the worst thing I've seen on this stage of Mas Draga so far. And I know not everyone's going to agree with me on that.
I agree with you on that.
I don't.
I know David doesn't, which is why I said that.
Yeah, I agree.
This is not good. Her makeup is not good. This headpiece is not good. The garment does not fit good.
Well, it's not good.
Now,
No.
scores.
I'll give her a 68.
I am not scoring this.
She doesn't even deserve a plead.
Ooh.
This is just no.
Yeah, I'm not scoring that.
Nope.
Unfortunately. Sorry. Not sorry.
But you know what I did love?
Let's score this, though.
Was Shantelle, who was in the top 3, scored 18 out of 20 for this look.
I will say I was very shocked that Shantelle gave us this, and I was pleasantly surprised and pleasantly happy because she has not been giving what I wanted to get from her these last couple episodes. Like she's been fading, and I was like, oh, I don't want. I mean, I kind of like her. I don't want her to fade too much, or I don't want to not remember her. And that's where she was headed those last 2 episodes, because it was like she's fading so far into the background. But this baby, she came prepared for this. Being a whole pinata. When that wall opened up and she walked out in this first pinata look, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm excited. I was sitting up and I'm like, all right. Because the colors are popping. It looks great. I'm like, it's a reveal. I know it's a reveal. I can't wait to see what the reveal is. She made me anxious and ready to see what this reveal was going to be. And when they hit her and she popped out in the second out, I was like, yes, mama. Yes, this is what I wanted. This is everything. And the skirt is also cut like the paper. Oh, I love this. Yes, I love this.
Yeah, I actually was not confident there was going to be a reveal at first. When she came out, I was like, oh, is this it? Is this it? Because I like it, but I'm not getting drag. I'm getting take it off. Is that T-Pain under there?
I am so fucking mad at you right now because my entire line was talking about the Masked Singer.
I love it because that's exactly what it looked like.
It did. I'm so sorry, Logan. We need to discuss things. I could have left that one for you.
It's fine.
But
it's not like I was literally just Googling who was Miss Monster on because I forgot who Miss. It was Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
RuPaul's safe word. Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan. Let me rock it. Shaka Khan. Hey, let me rock it. Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan. Hey, okay.
Shaka Khan.
I love that song.
No, but yeah, I got Masked Singer for sure. But then she took it off, and it was so like cutesy in the best way, and her delivery was everything. And I was like, "This is Shantelle. This is that girl that I always forget. The one that is the last person I remember each week." This was by far her standout moment so far this season.
Yeah,
and I'm so glad she got to have this moment. Because I was just so blown away. I love the colors. I love everything she did. Believe it or not, still wouldn't have been in my top 3.
Oh,
it was close. It was very close.
Oh,
but there are 3 others I like better.
Okay, Shantelle, this is your moment. Have it.
I'm angry with David.
You can't be angry with David when you choose to go last because
I did not choose to go last.
You could have gone first.
David said, "Lana, what do you think about Braulio?"
Well, from this point on, Logan goes first.
So no, I don't need to. I
want you to. I want you to.
I don't want to.
But I want you to.
I don't want. All I really have to say is she did what needed to be done. That's literally all I was going to say, other than that. Scores, but angrily.
Not angrily scores.
It's going to be a 93 for me.
Baby, I don't know if we go get these moments from Shantelle that often, so I am going to give her my cup runneth over. Mm-hmm. Flowers are due. You earned that, mama. You earned that, mama. Oh, so good.
Duh, but angrily.
No.
Not the angrily duh.
No, it's not angrily duh. It's duh, but angrily.
Okay.
At David.
At David Healy. At the David Healy on Twitter.
Not, okay.
It's right there and it's in the description.
I wasn't.
Oh boy. Well, next up is the Kyliezz, who scored 13 for this runway look.
Logan, what do you think?
It's bad.
Hey, that's not right. I was gonna say that.
I believe it.
I was gonna say that. It was
I'm
bad.
over this. I hate all of you. And by all of you, I mean only David. I could never hate Lana.
But yeah, go ahead, Logan.
Angrily again. This was a half-baked concept. But angrily, no kidding. No, so Kyliezz is who I would have had in the bottom 2 instead of Braulio.
Yep.
So Kyliezz would have been in my bottom 2 with Purga.
Duh.
I'm using duh for the first time, but duh.
Good for you. It's not a score though. First you steal my Masked Singer comment, and now you're gonna steal my duh. How dare you? Anyway, I think the problem for me with this look is that Kyliezz actually looks really pretty, and I really like this on her, but it's so basic, girl. And I hated that she had this papel picado like wrap and did nothing with it. And that's what made me angry more than anything else. Is like, if she had done something with this and kept it and modeled it and showed it off, cool. This is the only shot of it on her, and you can't even see the whole thing. And that's what made me angry with this from Kyliezz. But she looks stunning, and that's the difficulty here.
She's pretty, but the runway ain't pretty. It's like, even if, why didn't you have the dress the same? Like the paper, like why would you? It seems like she had that cape made, and she was like, I don't have either the time or no more money to make a dress, so I'm just gonna put a little cute dress under it. I'm gonna wrap myself in this cape, and then I'm gonna throw it off before I start walking around. Like she should have had that thing on the entire time. Like it should have been wrapped around, should have been off the shoulders, should have been wrapped around the waist. Something. It should have always been on her because that's the thing. This she looks pretty, but I don't want pretty. I want the paper.
Yeah, I agree with both of you here. So she does look pretty. I do think that her actual like garment that she's wearing is that type of paper look. At least it's got the cutouts to add the
Oh,
illusion
it
that it is.
does. It
Mhm.
does.
So
Okay.
Yeah, because
so
it had the Viva Mexico on it on the
that's right.
skirt, and I loved that. That was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Mhm. So I actually kind of think the opposite of what Lana, you thought that the outfit was the afterthought. I actually think the white part was the afterthought. I think she came with this look and realized,
I
wait,
need
this is
more.
not enough. I need more. So she made this like she made a big snowflake like we've
Yeah.
done. Um,
You
but
know
it
what?
it
You might be right.
it just still was not enough for me, and she got rid of it so quickly. That was the thing that made it stand out. And then it just became very, very, very basic. But my biggest issue with her this week, and I'm pretty sure this is the third week in a row I've said this, is her delivery is trash. Like she is just so stiff walking down the runway. She's by far the worst on the runway, actually delivering the garment. It's just so like nervous energy. And she really needs to shake out of that. Last week,
Mm-hmm.
last week I said her look was so good and she shouldn't be nervous. It makes more sense that she'd be nervous in this because this wasn't that great. So
Right.
disappointing.
Scores.
I gave her 62.
Now that I see that that is the paper in the orange, which I couldn't tell on the show, I'll
Oh,
get, I'll bump it up to a 60
bum
because it was
bum
about
bum
to be
bum bum
something else. It was about to be something else.
bum 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 love.
Uh,
I'm gonna give the difficulty here is like again, it just the execution was or the runway execution was so poor, but the look I actually do kind of like. So I'm gonna land on giving Kylie's a 60.
okay.
So which is still lower than what I gave Braulio. So
That should
Yeah.
be.
oh my dear God and also Jesus. Because next up is Electra, who scored a 19 out of 20. They have not scored under 18, and they have been in the top every single week.
They runways don't miss.
Mm-mm.
They runways don't miss.
Bitch.
What do you think, Logan?
Bitch.
Oh,
That's really all I have to say.
yes.
No, I lied. This when that door opened and Electra came out in this, I said, "Baby, I think that's our winner." And I'm just going to say that now. Because and I'm going to say this too, and y'all know I hate this word,
Come on.
but this bitch is a chameleon. No, we don't like him. We don't reference the song. Just
I
kidding.
love him.
Oh, we do not like Boy George. Oh no.
I love that
Oh.
song.
Okay, that's fine.
I can't not like that song.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we don't like him. The point is, Electra is incredible. Period. That's all I have to say.
When that door opened, I said, "You better walk out here, you paper pimp, you paper mache, paper cutout pimp, colorful pimp." It was so good. I was like, "This is, I loved every second of it. Every second she was on that runway, I loved it. I loved the puffer coat. I loved how she swung it around when she was walking. I loved the makeup. She put a mustache on it. Like what? Oh, I love this hat. I loved the pants. I loved it all. Baby girl don't miss on the runway. 3 episodes down and she still has not missed. I am here for her. She is my heart pick. She is my love. If she not on my team, and I don't even care. If she wins this whole season, I'm gonna be so happy because she is good. Good, good, good. And she in the same family as my Pixie, who I love to death. You can't go wrong.
And Vermelia,
And Vermelia,
whom we
but
also love.
who we also
And
love.
several many people on prior seasons of La Mas that we haven't met yet.
I haven't met any of them, but Pixie is my heart. So the fact that you're in this family and you rep it so well, I love it. Because if you did not see the picture of Pixie and Electra on her Instagram, you need to go look. Because
Ooh, I have
yes,
not.
yes, I am loving loving her so much.
Whose Instagram is it on?
Electra's.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I really like this. Once again, she just does not fail for me. What I really like is that she came out with such like swag. Oh,
Swagger. You see it? You
oh,
saw it. Yes, so good.
wait, is that her legs?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. She came out with so much swagger,
Yep.
and
Oh.
to I've heard people say over the years that they do not think that any like drag race type of show are really made for drag kings because it's hard for them to have like really over the top colorful. No, look at this. This is
Mm.
a drag king right here. This is straight up drag king, and she I mean I can't even, he's he tonight.
Mhm.
He delivered this with such enthusiasm and heart, and the fact that he wasn't confident in this look, like that's crazy. That's crazy because yeah, this was so good, so colorful. It really popped. Definitely one of my favorites of the night.
Scores.
I am gonna give Electra a 92.
Baby. My cup is at the bottom of the ocean still with all the ones who I've said before. It is down there. It is down.
You keep losing these cups.
I gotta buy new cups every week.
Duh.
As it should be.
Duh.
So dang good.
Just
Duh.
duh.
And here we go again.
And here we go again.
Jesus.
Chapter 2, turn another page.
Mhm.
Next is Juana Guadalupe, who is the second person this season to score a 20, which is the highest score you can have.
Oh, what do you think, Logan?
Bitch. And what makes it just even better is the fact that Juana was like, my partner put so much work into this, and I'm
Mhm.
so proud of this. Bitch.
Should be.
Ah. Yes. That's all.
If I had this outfit in my back pocket, I would be talking so much mess too. I would be very confident that I am winning this challenge. Like I wouldn't even be like, "Oh, I'm safe." I'm winning this challenge if I had this costume for a paper. Paper. Look, pronounce it for me.
Papel picada.
Yeah. If I had this look for that thing, baby, I'm winning. I'm winning. And she was so proud of this. And she walked like she was proud. She performed it like she was proud. And she had every right to feel so proud because it's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I loved it. That fan behind her with the train on the it's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did not make it easy on anybody else in the competition this week. Like, this screams the theme.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that it's made out of paper, but it sure gives the illusion that it is if it's not. Um, Even when she came out, like I was like, who is this? Who is this? Because I had no idea it was her. She was not one of my guesses. I was like, is this Dimittra? Is this I had no idea who it was. And then I'm like, this is Juana. She completely transformed for me. She almost like at points, she kind of reminded me of Boulay brother, whom you'll meet soon, Lana.
Okay.
But yeah,
Amore.
this was incredible. By far one of my favorite things this season, and it is my favorite look from her so far.
Same.
Scores.
My cup is full.
Wow. I forget you do that on this one.
I do. Occasionally.
My cup is still at the ocean next to Electra's.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. Just duh.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Cattriona, who scored a 14. Because I forgot I was going first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do this very often, ever. I think this is fine. I definitely think this is Dominatrix Pineapple. And you know what? I think I like Dominatrix Pineapple. I do agree with what they were saying about the papel picado specifically, and that not really being the effect that all of this gives. But I do still really enjoy this garment, and she sold the hell out of it for me. So, I love Cattriona.
I thought this was a fine look. I was like, it's not as paper as I wanted it to be, but I'm not hating the whole effect of it. It could it have been more? Sure. I feel like she looked pretty in it. She walked, performed well in it. For me, she was perfectly safe this week. For me, I felt she was perfectly safe in the middle of the world.
Mm-hmm. I would probably put her on the lower end of safe, but she still would not have been in my bottom 3 or 4. Um, I actually do like the black dress that she has underneath there. It's like giving me oil slick.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. I just don't know that it is cohesive with the paper that she has on top of it. And yeah, the paper, it's not giving me that cutout pattern that we're getting from everybody else. It looks like it has like marker drawings all over it. So I think overall she still looks good. But yeah, for me, she's one of the best people at delivering a look on the runway. She can sell the hell out of anything.
Mm-hmm.
That tends across the board as far as delivery goes. But the look itself, it left a little to be desired, but I still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Scores.
I'll give her an 82.
I'll give her 70.
I'm going to give her a 77. And most of that, honestly, is performance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So. Next up, Alexis Mvgler, who scored a 15 for this, but it didn't even matter because they were immune.
But I did. Oh, go ahead.
I really like it. I think the combination of this papel picado dress with the black and white checker, with the boot, with the wig, with the makeup, somehow kind of works for me. It wasn't my favorite by far. Definitely should have been in the bottom. For me, I think Alexis was the solid, safe person. And I don't know whether my score will reflect that because I don't write my scores down. But for me, I think Alexis was just perfectly in the middle. And I think she was score-wise as well, actually. Oh no, it was Kelly. Never mind. But I really liked this. I thought this was where I saw we're getting a little bit more of Alexis's aesthetic, and I love to see it. So I was really, I like this a lot.
I like this look. I thought it was very Alexis, and it was everything I wanted from her. You know what I mean? I liked the dress, gave us the paper that we wanted, but then Alexis gave her us with the boots and the checkered uh, bodysuit underneath. I wasn't mad at it. I know the judges didn't like the checkered bodysuit underneath. I was kind of like, but that's who she is, so I kind of like it. And as usual, per Alexis, every week she gonna give us some good makeup, some different kind of cute little squiggly lines and things, the white face, and she gonna give us some kind of makeup. I like it. I thought it was a cute version of what Alexis does. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm cute, but I'm still and give her that look. I can't even do the look that she do, but with the eyes, she's like, I love it. I love this version of Alexis, honestly. Right. I can't even do it, but it's that turnaround like I love I love it.
Yeah, I love Alexis so much. She's just so much fun every single time. And it's funny because my first impression of her was not positive on this show. Like we got that conflict between her and Ankh, and I was more on Ankh's side there. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that behind me. I'm fully in love with Alexis. She's like ringing my Jimbo alarms, to be honest.
Mm.
Um yeah, I like okay, so as far as this look goes, I really like most of it. I love the scissor hands. I think she pulled off the scissor hands better than Braulio. I also really love this mini dress she has going on. Like it's almost like I don't know, you see gears or film or something, whatever. It's so intricate, and I really like that. I don't mind the checkerboard bodysuit underneath it at all. I think the only thing I would probably change is the wig. I'm not sure how I would change it, but it's the only thing that's kind of throwing me off a little bit is the colorful wig. It doesn't look as expensive as the rest of her outfit does. Um, but yeah, that's it. And I love her makeup. I think she has the most recognizable makeup of anybody. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can see her and instantly know who she is. They're trying to make her change it. I'm not okay with it.
Me either.
She's making subtle changes. That's all I need. Scores. You are muted, Logan, I think. But my score
Scores.
my
I
score
said
for
it,
her.
and I was definitely on mute. Sorry.
Oh, we did not talk about it, but she did tell the audience not to be ashamed of their colors, and she wants people to DM her. So DM
Period.
her.
I mean,
um,
he cute, so sure.
right. I will give Alexis an 84.
I will give Alexis an 88.
86. I did math there for a second. So this is why I had to delay a little bit earlier, because I forgot that I needed to sadly, very, very sadly censor
Yeah.
Kelly. But next up is Caracas, who scored a 16 for this runway. Yeah, because I had the titties out earlier, and I forgot that unfortunately, if we want to be monetized on this platform, we can't have the titties out. But the titties were out, and I loved it. I loved this. My one critique is the same critique that they had, is just
Yep.
I wish the color palette was different. I wish it was pink and another color that was not orange. I
Lime
literally
green.
don't
Oh,
I don't care what other color it was, to be quite honest. It could have been red, purple, blue, lime green, maroon,
lime green
puce.
with
I don't
lime.
care.
Oh,
I don't care. I just wish it was another color. But I still love this from Kelly. It's so cute. It's so different for Kelly, and I love that we're seeing little bits and pieces. I'm getting a better idea of Kelly's drag aesthetic, and I'm really enjoying that. So love this.
I love this too. I wish it was lime green because I felt like the pink and the green would have popped on that stage. But I really did like this. I thought she looked pretty, and I'm like that she's like, I am going to put some paper on my nipples and put bring the titties out. It is what it is, and she's proud to bring her titties out. And I'm like, you go, girl, do you? It's so pretty. She's so pretty. She's just pretty. Like, I don't know if she can do makeup that's not pretty because she's just so dang pretty. I like it. Is it simple? Sure. Is it super exciting? No, it's not super exciting, but she made it look good. It looks good on her. She had fun on the runway, and her delivery sold me. So I liked it.
Hmm. Yeah, she looks good. She always looks good. I will say, I think the bar was set so high in that first episode, and for me, I think she's slowly taking steps down each episode, and I really hope that she can reverse that course. For me, I'll be honest, she would have been in my bottom three. Yeah, I know. I hate to say that.
Gay shock.
Right. Because she was my number one draft pick. But
yeah, mine too.
right. For me, though, I think this of any look tonight, maybe other than Purga, it gives me the least paper. I look at it, I don't see paper.
It's not supposed to give paper. It's supposed to give Papa Picada, which is a very specific concept. And in that regard, that's what this gives.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give it for me. Like, I know exactly what you're saying about the paper, Papa Picada, but I do not get the illusion for this compared to
the
most
color is
everybody
off.
else.
The widest way that Papa Picada has ever been seen.
Yeah.
I can guarantee.
Papel Picada.
But it's okay because it's only because the color, and that's the critique that
it is the colors, but also it's very small compared to a lot of other looks we got tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I wish she would do something as big and extravagant as she did that first episode. I know she has it in her. I know her best weeks are yet to come, but for me, she was in my bottom three, but way above the other two.
But also, not every look needs to be big and extravagant for it to be impactful. And this, for me, was very impactful.
I think it's really hard when you look at other looks that we have this week. I would agree typically, but the bar is just so high for how extreme some of these looks are getting. So for me, this got lost in the shuffle.
My only thing to say about that is I don't want to say that everybody has to have these big extravagant looks because that's a lot of money that we're saying these queens need to have and prepare for these shows. And I don't want it to be about how much money you have to make the biggest and the most extreme costume in order to win these competitions. You should be able to come out in a good drag competition, good drag concepts and perform and still be able to get by on these shows. It shouldn't always be who has the biggest budget to make the biggest elaborate costumes.
I see what you're saying. I don't think Juana spent that much on her costume, especially.
I think she did.
Well, her and her husband made it together.
But they had to buy the materials. Yeah, the materials cost a lot of money. That's the thing. Fabrics cost a lot.
Even so, like if I put this next to Juana, I'm not going to give her a pass because of money. Like I can't do that. I can't judge that way because I have to judge based on the looks I'm seeing. So
I'm not saying you have to judge compared to money. I'm saying I don't want it to become a stigma that we need to have big elaborate costumes to make a good performance, to be on these shows. I don't want people to have to empty their bank accounts to get on Le Mans. I don't want people to have to empty their bank accounts to get on RuPaul's Drag Race, because the reason they're doing this, a lot of people, is so they could get noticed and get booked to do shows because they need the money. I don't think anybody should have to empty out their savings and then their friends' savings and their family savings just to get on this show to win $100,000. Because that ain't gonna be able to pay none of that back. They can't pay all that back if they use all their money to do it. So I'm like, I don't want it to be like we have to have big elaborate costumes in order to succeed on these shows. Sometimes we just be able to have good costumes, and the performance is another key element to more of a key element than just the look itself.
Yeah, in that she never fails at.
Exactly.
Yep.
Scores.
I gave Kelly an 81.
All that for an 81?
I know. I said I liked it. I said I liked it right off the bat. It just
All that for a fucking 81?
I said she was in my bottom 3, but it was a pretty big gap between her and everybody
I'm
else.
so sorry, Lana. Go ahead. I'm just.
I give it an 87.
This is a 90. I'm moving on. Next is Aries. I don't want to start anymore. David, go ahead. I need a moment.
Oh my God.
Angrily again.
Oh, I am so sick of you, sensitive.
I completely messed up in my notes.
Oh no.
I wrote down my notes and my score for Ariel and Aries backwards.
Oh no.
So thrown off for a second. But no, I really oh wait. You go first, Lana. I was so thrown off.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I am a fan of Aries. Aries. I'm such a fan of Aries. I don't think Aries has ever missed on the runway either. And I am loving this look from Aries. I am loving it. It is giving me piñata. It's giving me the bull. It's giving me colors. It's giving everything. And I don't care what they say. I liked her makeup. I thought she gave everything. I love this look. I love the shoes. I love this look. So good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the critique about the makeup was just giving me, we don't want to make it too obvious that you're the front runner yet. We need to find something to critique you about because you're too consistent. I'm going to say it. She is the most consistent person so far for me. She's never been out of my top 3. Once again, I think she should have been in the top 3 this week. This was so good. I loved everything about it. Just the colors, it really popped. This is how you do a rainbow look. I think rainbow looks are pretty hard to pull off sometimes, but she completely nailed it. I love the shoulder pieces she has going. My only tiny nitpick is that her delivery of this on the stage was so fast. Like she was moving around. She never held still for a second. And I wanted her to just hold still so I could soak it in just for a moment. I get why she didn't. Luckily, when she was getting critiques, I could actually analyze every part of it. But it was just like almost a blur just watching her move around nonstop on the stage. But yeah, this was near perfection for me.
Yeah, it was a blur. This is the only screenshot I could pull.
Yeah.
I was angry about it, and that honestly affected my score. Because I not beyond the logistics of the situation, I do agree with you. I thought her runway performance was the shortest by far, and I thought it was just too fast. And I just wanted a moment of her just like standing in place and doing it. Maybe it was uncomfortable. Maybe she like needed to move, and if she stayed static for that long, she would have been in pain. But then she was doing it on the stage anyway. I don't know. I thought this was really good. She would not have been in my top 3, but she would have been my 4th. Because I agreed with all of the top 3 that happened. So, scores.
I gave her 98.
I would give her a 98 as well.
I, too, was planning to give her a 98.
Nice.
98 across the board, I guess.
We love that.
Next up, Dimittra, who scored 17, tying for 4th with Aries, actually.
I love this look. I was so happy for Dimittra because I wanted to see better from Dimittra. I was like, I feel like she got it in her and I want to see it. And she showed it, like she showcased it this week because the dress fits her great. The headpiece is amazing. I love the ruffle because it's still the paper thing at the bottom. Her makeup stunning. She looked beautiful. I thought she performed it so well. I was like, yes, girl. I think when you feel confident in your look, it shows on the runway, and it did for her. She showed it on this runway and looked so good. I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree. So I've been talking about Shantelle fading, but for me also Dimittra was fading. So I think it was really great that both of them were able to have such standout nights for me. This may be a hot take. This also would have been in my top 3. I really liked it. Um, I think it's hard to have such a dark look and still make it pop so much, but she sure did. Even when everybody was standing across the stage, she kept directing my eyes, even though we had colorful Aries right there. But I just could not stop staring at her. I really liked everything about this. The headpiece, the actual skirt of the dress, and her prop that she was holding in front of her. So good. So good.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, so good. The way that headpiece is constructed is just so masterfully done. I love the mask. I love that she kind of leaned into the Dia de los Muertos a little bit in the way that she did it, or those kinds of themes. Because really no one else did that, and I thought it was a really smart way for her to go. Her makeup here is so interesting and different, and I didn't even recognize her at first. If it didn't list Dimittra as the name of the person walking on the runway, I would have never guessed that this was her. And yet I do love it. My only qualm is if you're going to have so much white in the makeup, I would have liked that reflected in the body paint a little bit somehow. But otherwise, like, this is so good. So good. Scores.
95.
I gave it a full cup.
I'm going to give it a 98.
I really liked it.
And last up, we have Ariel, who scored a 16.
So, I'm frustrated with Ariel in this moment. I'm so frustrated with her because this look should have been perfection. It should have been at the top. It should have been so good. But then the performance sucked the life out of everything you just did. Because this first part was so great. I wish you would have just left it on the whole time. Like, don't even take it off. Just leave that part on and walk around just like that. Like, your reveal should be opening it up and letting the big things hang, and then you walk around. Like, I was so disappointed at the second half of this performance that it just sucked everything that she did before that away from me. And I'm so frustrated because this was so good. It could have been spectacular, but it was just wah, wah after the second half of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I was living for it when I first saw this. That wig,
Yes.
that wig is amazing, and it completely feels like it fits the theme. And then I did not expect it when the like bottom dress part just wrapped around her and gave that effect. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to hate you because you're so unlikable this episode, but you're doing so well. And I did not think immediately that her delivery was bad, but I didn't think it was that good. And then she goes back there and for some reason decides to take off everything that is incredible about this look and then march around in this really basic ass thing.
And some
So
sunglasses.
yeah, she could have easily been in the top if she didn't do that. What were you thinking, girl? And we'll get into the drama about her throwing people
Well,
under the bus later.
Well, Raquel even said, like, this would have been my Lamas,
Oh yeah.
but you fluffed it up, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I love this whole first part. The way the bell
Yep.
comes around and just the way that it's constructed is so just perfect. I love the wig too. And then she reveals into the most basic ass
She
thing
dressed
I've ever
ever.
seen.
She ordered it from
But
Shein,
it's
honey.
still, but what I will say is that the dress underneath is still picada. And so I
Is it?
do appreciate it is.
It
If you look
is,
very,
and
very
yeah.
closely, but it's the same color on both layers. So it's a very subtle detail, but it is there. I only noticed it when she was standing for critiques and they zoomed in on her and they zoomed in on the skirt and it was still the picada sort of thing. But I think it's supposed to not be noticeable, but still hit the theme. So I do want to give her props in that regard for at least not wearing a basic dress underneath. At least there was some thought to it. But girl, just keep the bell on. She could have kept the bell on. She thought she
Mm-hmm.
needed to do something else. No, there's a very good chance that she could maybe she could have won,
Yep.
but not after the reveal.
Mm-mm.
So, scores.
Ariel, you better thank me because I'm keeping that first half in mind. I'll give it a 90.
I'm not doing that. I can't do that because that's not what you presented to me. You presented half the bell and then you took it off. So I can't give you the high score that you deserve with the first look, but then you ruined it with the second look. So I have to give you a 65.
That first look would have been a full. The second one is a
Mm-hmm.
40. So we're going to average that and give her a 70.
I can't give you. I
But
can't
wait,
judge you. There's more.
we are going to be covering the eliminated queens
Yay.
from Du Las Tres. We're going to do it we're not going to do it nearly as in depth as, the people that are still in the competition, but we do still want to show them off because Lamas is showing them off. We want to as well. So we only have 2 this week. And first up, bitch. When I tell you, David, because you're the only one currently here on camera, David, I am mad. I am mad and angry at Raquel and Jadi for sending Ankh home. Because if they were still in the competition, this would have won. This would have won. This would have won the challenge. And I'm angry. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. This is just so good. Like there's so many little details here. Like even the little face, the pink face at the very top. Like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And I've never seen anything like this before. And it's rare. It's so rare that there are things that I've never seen on a drag show. But this I have never seen. It's breathtaking. Oh, we were robbed from seeing this. And Lana says, amazing, stunning from the beyond.
From the beyond, yes.
Yes.
Of course.
I my cup runneth over.
Yay!
It happened.
Same, and also for Lana.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And last up, Mizz Peaches.
Oh no.
I'm gonna start then because I don't think this is bad. It doesn't hit the theme nearly as well as I would like it to personally, but I think with what was done with the picada sort of effect on the gown, I actually think it's pretty. This wouldn't have been in my bottom 2 had she still been in the competition. But I think it's pretty. I like the concept of doing this kind of wedding dress, but making it papel picado. I like the sort of like square effect happening down the main bodice of the dress. But yeah. And Lana, all she says is, it's aight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, this wouldn't have only been in my bottom 2. It would have been in my bottom 1 Based
no,
on
no,
yes, it absolutely would have.
no.
I do
Lower
not
than
like this at all.
Purga?
Yes.
No.
And I didn't give Purga that low of a score. I
Yeah,
gave her
I'm
68.
aware. Yeah, I'm aware.
Kyliezz was my lowest at 62. This is lower than both of those for sure.
No.
Scores. I'm gonna give this a 33.
Lana gives it a 70, and I'm gonna match that 70. So that's that. So we have some results. And we find out that our top 3 of the week are Electra, Juana, and Shantelle, which I was happy about, seeing someone new and different in the top. But our winner, because she scored the highest, and that's how we do things at Lamas, Juana is the winner of our challenge this week.
Deserved. Yep, she was my winner for sure.
She was not my winner, actually.
Ooh. Electra?
She was not. No.
Oh, Shantelle?
Yeah, my winner
really?
was Shantelle.
Okay.
I just really loved. I think concept, execution, and performance. For me, Shantelle had the whole thing, from breaking the piñata to just the way she waddled out on the runway, in the piñata, to the way she was just bouncing around the stage. All of that together, for me, was my favorite. So I would have given it to Shantelle.
I would agree.
And Shantaka Khan is Miss Monster.
Shantaka, I hate you.
I think I would have to agree with you on that. It was between. I will say I had a tie for the winner for me. It was Shantelle and it was Electra.
Oh, so I was the only one who was Juana.
I like Juana.
They
Juana was
would have been
very
my
much
top
there.
3, and again, 3 weeks in a row, honestly, where anyone in the top 3 could have won, and I would have been so okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I didn't have Juana, or I didn't have Electra or Shantelle in my top 3.
I know.
That's a shame.
But I still love them.
But they're great though.
Yes. And subsequently, we also found out that our bottom 3 are Purga, Kyliezz, and Braulio.
I did want to, so this happened before we got to the results, but I did want to briefly talk about Ariel when she was getting her critiques.
Mm-hmm.
And she completely threw Veneno under the bus and was like, yeah, we had conflict. And I was like, I cannot believe you're doing that right now. And then they had to like come out and explain the whole situation. They're like, yeah, we asked her if she wanted to practice this, and she said no. So like, why are you throwing them under the bus when you were the one who botched the reveal because you didn't want to practice it, girl?
I'm about to say, it doesn't matter what the backstage people do. This is your performance. If something goes wrong, if it's not something that like lights and music or light production stuff, if it's your performance that gets messed up, it's on you. It ain't on the people who your supporting crew who help you out. And then to find out that you didn't even want to practice, that's on you. And she lucky they didn't just throw her in the bottom two for doing that. Because me personally, I would have been like, she can go. Like, you don't throw other people under the bus because you decide not to do something. That's kind of foul.
Yeah. But we do end up with a bottom 2, unfortunately, of Braulio and Purga.
And they got me because they said we're about to say who the person who's leaving, and I'm like, wait, is there no lip sync?
They gooped me, girl.
They said, look, Kyliezz, you're leaving, and I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. For me, she was my least favorite overall, so I was like, okay.
Same, but...
And then they said you're leaving because you're safe, and I'm like, wait, Braulio is in the bottom 2 over Kyliezz? I did not get that. I still do not.
But I don't understand that at all. I was not happy.
I wanted Kyliezz in the bottom so she could lip sync circles around Purga and send her ass home. Unfortunately, that was not the case.
And I will tell you, the second they said Braulio was in the bottom, I was like, oh, I know what's about to happen.
Gone.
I was like, I know what's about to happen because unfortunately, this is not what Braulio does. That lip syncing performance to this poppy song that they gave them is not geared to what Braulio does. And I was like, dang, diggity dang, I wanted more. But I am glad we get to see Braulio's looks every week. But dang diggity, dang, I was mad. I wanted more Braulio, and I wanted Braulio because of not just the unique drag of Braulio, but the sense of calmness that Braulio brings to the workroom. It's so refreshing around all of that madness and nonsense that's going on in there, to when they pan to Braulio and Braulio's focused. Braulio was like, I got a lot to do. I don't have time to fight and fuss with all these people. I'm doing me. And it's such a calming moment that I love. In spite of all of that, I am a fan of Braulio. Braulio has made a fan out of me. I am excited to see what everything else Braulio could do, because this lip sync was not it, unfortunately.
I was gonna say, are we gonna talk about the lip sync, or are we just skipping ahead?
No, the lip sync was not it. It wasn't it. But it wasn't like Purga did that great either. But
I thought Purga was actually very good in this. Like, it wasn't the most amazing lip sync. Yeah. I thought Purga did what she needed to do to survive, for sure. It was not my favorite lip sync I've ever seen, but it was very one-sided. And yeah, I wasn't happy about it, even though Purga is on my team.
Baby, I would have been more content if they had just sent them both home. Double elimination 2 weeks in a row.
We're going to be done with the season in 6 weeks.
That's fine with me, but I'm going to tell you why. Braulio, I think, did the absolute best that they could with what they were given. This is not what they do, and that's fine and dandy and wonderful. This is apparently what Purga does. Almost every single stunt she did was sloppy.
It was so sloppy.
Was crunchy. The duck walk, bad. The dip, can't even call it a dip. The split, baby, you can't. If you can't split all the way down to the damn ground, don't split.
The flip,
don't do it. The cartwheel, I don't know what it was, but you want to know what it was, Lana?
Bad. It was just not good. That's what I'm like.
She knew the words to the song, and unfortunately, I think anyone in the damn competition, even Peaches or Ankh, could be Braulio in a lip sync. Purga was lucky, because if she was against anybody else, the bitch goes home. And again, like I said, I would have been more content if they had just sent them both home.
Because I would have been looking at that like, this is not good, or either one of you. So why do we keep you? Just have a non-elimination round at some point, so you can not just have the show be over in 6 weeks. But this was just not good on either one of their parts.
And later on in the season, when we get a lip sync that is double save worthy, because I know that's coming, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to look back at this moment where they could have just sent Purga home.
Yeah, I don't even know if they do double saves on this show. Who knows?
I hope they do.
I don't know if they do.
Well, they did the first week.
Okay,
well, yeah. It wasn't after a lip sync, though. Yeah.
Well, they still did.
True.
Well, I mean, I feel like, do they do double saves after lip syncs? I don't know.
Right.
Well, y'all have this. Yeah, y'all gotta let us know.
Don't spoil it, but let us know.
Right. But I do have another question for the audience. So I'm starting to wonder if this show, and I really hope this is not the case, I'm starting to wonder if they value people who bring drama to the Nick's Lounge. And maybe that's why we're seeing certain people survive, while a smaller personality like Braulio was put in the bottom two for some weird reason. So
three smaller personalities have gone home.
True, very true. And I'm wondering if that's consistent with seasons past. That might also explain some of the behavior we're getting from some of these people, specifically Ariel, who's clearly trying to be a dramatic figure. And I'm wondering if that type of behavior has been rewarded in the past. Is that what's
makes sense to
happening?
me. It makes it like that makes sense to me. If that's the case, it's like okay, so everybody knows to come on this show and be the drama starter, and you'll go far because they don't want you to go because it's good TV.
That's disappointing if that's true. So I hope it's not.
I have another drama thing. I don't know if either of you have actually seen it. I do want to talk about our dearly departed Braulio before we do that, because I am very upset that we are losing Braulio in this moment.
Me too.
I wish we would have seen more, but I'm excited to see more, on Tu Las Tres. So I'm excited that we're going to get to see their whole package. I'm saddened that two of the more conceptual artists have gone home in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's concerning to me. But what I want to talk about is a little bit of drama and controversy happening over on the good old internet, on Beyonce's internet. Because I'm gonna assume, and I know we've had talks off camera, I'm gonna assume that neither one of you watched El Salseo from this week.
No.
So the producers of La Mas are getting some heat.
Okay.
For some very interesting things that they said. So the El Salseo is the, I would say, Untucked equivalent. It's not nearly the same, but it's kind of the backstage. They're in a lounge. It's a whole thing. So they're like having a conversation. Everything is cool. Everything is lovely. And they're just talking. And then out of nowhere, you hear two producer voices from behind the camera going off on the queens. And I did have subtitles, but they were really bad. I want to thank Carol, the drag translator on Twitter, for translating everything for us. Because I believe the subtitles on it were auto-generated for English. So a lot of things, because I went and looked at the video, and a lot of things were very confusing. But basically, what the translated things came out to be was, according to Carol, the drag translator, the translation of what the producers were saying was, we're tired of look, queen, lip sync being used as terms that they use on the show. Do you want to be gringas? Go somewhere else. This is not the place for it. This is not the show for it. In fact, we're tired. You're using gringa words all the time. Do you want to be gringas? So you shouldn't be here. I don't know what we're doing here. Bye. Turn off the cameras. Let's go. Let's go to bed. Cameras off. Let's go. So the producers are presumably upset at the queens for using more, I'm gonna go ahead and say more Americanized drag lingo, as opposed to like not using those words. Now, I honestly don't have an opinion on the situation. I just think it's interesting to see. And there are a lot of Mexican fans of La Mas specifically that are defending the producers, saying, well, this is Mexican made. This is what they're doing. This, that, and the third. So yeah, they shouldn't be saying like those more Americanized things. And I'm also seeing a lot of people chiming in on the opposite side saying, well, to be quite frank, La Mas basically took the concept of Drag Race and kind of like reshuffled it and made it 100% produced in Mexico. And that's kind of the energy that a lot of people are bringing on the opposite side of the argument. And of all people to chime in, I did love Cynthia Lee Fontaine chimed in. Because Cuckoo got to chime in. I love her. But she was chiming in on the kind of opposing side, saying the queen should be treated this way. If I was treated this way by a producer on Drag Race, I would have quit. Like all those kind of things. And they were yelling at the queens. That's the thing too. I would suggest
they chose to release this on the internet.
They released this on the internet. It is on the internet. From what I saw at the time that we started recording this, the video is still up on their channel. And you can very clearly hear both of the
I love that.
I'm a mess tonight. I'm tired. You can clearly hear both producers kind of talking in the background and like yelling at the queens. And again, I don't really have an opinion on this because again, we're entering the universe of Lamaze for the very first time. So I don't know if either of you have opinions either, but I want to know what our viewers have to say. I'm really interested to hear the perspectives of because it looks like our audience is very predominantly people in Mexico who have also watched Drag Race Mexico and also have watched Lamaze. So having both of those perspectives, I'm intrigued. But Lana, go ahead because I know you probably want to say something.
I'm not going to give an opinion on which side I think is right or wrong because one thing I know about me and my folks, when outside sources be jumping in our business, we be like, mind your stay out of black folk business. I'm gonna stay out of Mexico business. That is up for them to decide what they, how they feel about the situation, because that is none of my black business. I'm gonna stay in my lane and worry about my black folk business. But I will say this, regardless of how you feel about something, yelling at the people who are on your show to give your show the entertainment that it needs and to give the publicity that it needs to run is wrong. I don't care. Any producer on any show does not need to disrespect the talent of the show. I don't care who you are, what show you're on. Don't disrespect the people who are getting your pockets fatter. They making you get paid. So the disrespect level, absolutely not. Nobody deserves to be yelled at and disrespected, regardless of what is happening on the show and whether you agree or disagree with what they're saying or doing. You don't disrespect the people who are feeding you because you don't pay them half as much as you pay yourself. Let's be honest. That's my thought.
Yeah, that's actually very similar to what my because both of us were like, we have a small opinion. Yeah, like I was going to say, I think it's fair if the producers of the show want to distinguish themselves from a different show, and that includes the language that the queens are using to describe certain things. Like that's completely fair, but why not just ask them nicely? Like I believe to get respect, you have to give respect. And so I would never want to yell at somebody like that. If I just had a simple request, like I can just say, hey, here's how we would like you all to do it moving forward. What's wrong with that?
Right. We no longer want you to say this word. We want you to prefer it as this word. Okay.
Great.
There's a more tactful way to go about this entire thing.
Yep.
And again, I've seen bits of it and I've seen the entire scene itself. I didn't watch the whole episode of El Salseo, so I don't know if there was any specific context behind it.
It doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter.
You shouldn't
absolutely, and I absolutely agree with you. What I'm saying is, hi, I don't have the whole story. Don't come for me because I don't have the whole story. Like that's more so what I'm saying. But again, there is a more tactful way to communicate what you're trying to communicate to these people. But at the end of the day, I don't have an opinion one way or the other because I don't know this community well enough.
There's a lane, and I'm staying in it.
There's a lane that they are in, and I'm gonna stay in a lane adjacent, but not in that one.
The Gringo lane.
I'm gonna
stay in the
lane because that's where I am. So that's not my business.
Yeah,
ain't none of my business.
It's not my business. But with that being said, thank you for joining us for our episode 3 recap of Mas Draga. We'll be back next week to talk more about Lamaze because we're really enjoying it. So in the meantime, make sure to hit all of the applicable buttons that say you can support us. And if you hit the dislike button, go ahead and hit it twice. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The Cup Pod for all of our most up-to-date Cup news and our funny moments, because we are some funny bitches. We are covering all of the Drag Race currently happening as well. So if you want to check out all of our coverage of Drag Race Germany, Brazil, Philippines, and UK, that is also available on the channel now, and we greatly appreciate all of that support. While you're down in the description, you can also go get your cup merch, and you can follow all three of us on Twitter as well.
You can also jump over to our other channel, Look Up
That's
TV.
where I was headed as well.
And subscribe there. Great minds think alike, because I want
if you're a fan of reality TV in general, and unfortunately most of it is Americanized, go follow that too. So, with all that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.